Sorry guys, I was cut off. So this is part two, which I'll just finish off about my next couple of stocks, and then I'll just do a recap about the first 4 weeks of using DAS, my results, my statistics, and overall impressions. So as I was saying, so this was all calculated to get in on the C, which is, as we know, the kind of really the best entry to get in on a bull flag. Because if you're getting in on the D, which is already kind of above the B, you know, you're kind of, yes, it's a surer way of making sure that you're getting in on the right and the right momentum, but it's riskier because your risk reward won't be as high potentially. And then I sold as it broke $58, which was my original target. So this was a really good solid trade. I mean, this made me almost $300, you know, $291. I mean, this really set me up for the day as well. So just a really good long trade, and very, very happy with this one. And then the next and the last trade of the day was Nvidia, our friend, good old Nvidia. Now, let me remove these marks. So Nvidia was a continuation of shit entries, just terrible, terrible entries. Okay, this was a scalp, so I'm not going to be as hard on myself and say that my stop loss would have been the 9 EMA, but it is what I put down in my analysis, that I got in here, my stop loss is all the way up here, and the risk reward is just, it's really poor. I mean, the risk reward is 0.2, you know, which is just, it's the worst trade I've ever taken. But because it's a scalp, you don't look at those things in much detail. A scalp is basically a really quick trade where you're looking just to make a little bit of money. You're not looking at all the technical analysis they normally would in a proper trade. Now, I got myself into trouble here again, because if you look at, I bought it, I got in 3 times. I got in at $144, I think 40, which is here. Then it wasn't cracking, so I got in another lot at $144.69. Then it still wasn't cracking, so what does Bart do? Bart goes in again. Now this is just a really risky trade. Now I was already up about $400 at this stage, but I hadn't looked at my P&L. If I had realized that, I wouldn't be taking this trade. I would be out of there and I would be closing down my platform and be done for the day. But I didn't look at my P&L quickly enough to realize that that is my position, and I got into this, and this was just a shitstorm. I mean, I was down at one point something like, I don't know, almost $200. So pretty much wiped out half of my gains. You know, no way would I have held on to this. I mean, this would have been probably like a $600 loss. I wouldn't have held on to that. But, you know, I was close to getting out. I got to say, I was close to getting out. In the end, I made something like $6 on it or something, or $3. So, I mean, $9 here, but after commissions, it was like $3. So nothing to write home about, apart from just poor management. So I'm aware of this, and I'll try and make sure this doesn't happen. Now, let's move on quickly to the next part, which is where I wanted just to talk about my analysis of how I have gone in the last 4 weeks using DAS Trader, and 4 weeks of using Vancouver Traders as a room, as a trading room. So I won't go through everything, but I'll just give you a quick idea as to how things are panning out. This is my kind of raw numbers. The most important ones to note are things like my win rate at the moment is 56 for going short and 60 for going long, and my average is 58%. So ideally I get this up to 65%. I'm not sure if I can get up to 70, but 65 would be really good. This is just going up, so I'm very happy with this. My loss obviously is the inverse of that. My gross profit in 4 weeks is $5,347, and I made a lot more going long than what I made short, but I'm working on the short strategy because I think that is where I feel more comfortable with. But as you can see, I'm playing both sides. I'm not just not biasing in one direction. My commissions were $1,200, almost $1,250, and net profit is $4,100 in 4 weeks. Total win is $13,500, and total loss is just over $8,000. Now my profit factor, now this is quite interesting. When I go long, my profit factor is really good, 4 to 1, 4.1. Whereas on going short, you can see it leaves a lot to be desired. So something that I know I've got to work on. Then I've got my expectancy. I've got a few other things. My average winning trade. My longs are bigger than my shorts. My average losing trade. This is good. That my average losing trade is less than half of my winning trade. That's really good. But here it's the inverse. I actually lose more on a trade than I make on a trade. And I know why. It's because I had a couple of really bad losses, like $700 and $300, which is where this really bad day came into play. But we'll get it through in a second. My largest winning trade, $1,535. Largest losing, $710. That's also why this is so low as well. And then a few other bits and pieces. Net growth of the account is just under 11%. Gross, and net 8.2% in 4 weeks. And I've just got to work out how to do these in Excel, because I'm not really sure how to work out these formulas. My daily net P&L from day one, so the red line is 0. So, you know, touch wood, that this trend, this positive trend kind of continues up, rather than kind of going up and down like it does here. I'd be more than happy to kind of stay in this range for, you know, the next amount of time. Now this is interesting. This is the yellow bars are how many trades I took on that day. So from day 1 to day, you know, 18, 20. So as you can see, I'm getting a little bit better here because I'm taking a lot less trades, which is great from a commissions perspective and stress perspective, but I'm still making a decent amount of money. This is an example of what I used to do. A lot of trades. So these are the trades over here. So this is like 50 trades, almost 50 trades, and a loss of under, you know, more than $500. This is revenge trading 101. This is what you don't want to be doing. So anything under, like, you know, 10 trades a day is great. This is a little graphic showing my win and loss. So every time I have a winning trade, it draws a little green line. Every time I have a red one, it's a loss, it's a red. So you can see I had a really good winning margin here, which is why I had, I think, my 10 winners in a row, which is here. And this is where I had my 9 losers in a row. So quite closely condensed. And this is my cumulative gross profit over the last 4 weeks. So this is the bars are the individual weeks. So this has been my best week to date. So it's getting better. So I'm really happy with that. And this is my equity curve over here, net after all commissions. So this is where I had that kind of revenge trading day, which is here. And just kind of slowly it's going up there. These are some reports I've got, my profitability per day. So I know that on a Monday, I tend to make more money than any other day of the week. I tend to lose a lot more on Tuesdays than any other day of the week. And this blue line is number of trades. So as you can see, I make a lot more trades on Tuesday, but I lose a shitload more on Tuesday as well. So maybe that's a sign to scale back on Tuesdays. This is number of executions per number of trades. So the more executions you take means the more you kind of scale in and out. And this is the amount of trades. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just to give you an idea, that I tend to do a lot more on Tuesday and Monday and Wednesday than the remainder of the week. And then average volume traded, just an idea as to how many shares I go through. This is don't worry about, I'm still working on. Trade distribution by price, so which stocks I trade most of in terms of which range they are. You can see that I trade more in the $100 to $200 range. That's because of NVIDIA. Performance per price, where I make my most money, where I lose my most money. Distribution by volume traded, so you know how many shares I trade more often than not, and then the performance of that. So they're the main things that I've done. I've still got some other reports I'm working on, but I will make this available to anyone who's interested for free. I'm not going to charge for it. And there's a macro that is really cool. And what it does is you basically in here you paste in your input. So you basically you export your trades and you bang them in here, and then you press a button here and it analyzes your data and it kind of spits it out in here with pretty much everything already worked out, your commission, whether it's a win or a loss, all that kind of stuff. And then it adds up and it calculates all these things. So I'm not going to charge anything for it, even though it cost me $80 and I spent probably 100 hours on it so far. But I would like a donation if possible, if you're interested. I mean, you know, it would be just nice to kind of have a little bit of that offset by the time spent. But this is for DAS. So if you're using that DAS platform, I think this journal, you know, might be good. I'm also very keen to hear any ideas if you'd like me to add things into it or remove things or whatever it is, you know, build a dashboard, whatever it is. I mean, I want to get away from paying for a journal, which I used to do. And that's why I built my own. And, you know, so far it's not quite ready yet, but I think in a week or two, you should be ready for general release. So, you know, drop me a line if you want to be a beta tester. I'd like to kind of show the people what it's like and have some input as to what is going well and what not. So, you know, anyway, let me know what you think. I wish you guys a really great weekend. Remember, Monday is only half a day, so the liquidity and the volume probably won't be as good as normal. And Tuesday's a public holiday, so the market's closed. So I don't know what I'll be doing. I think I'll be banging my head against the keyboard. But anyway, have a great weekend, guys, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Cheers. Bye.